Welcome to An Author Dissects a Narrative with your host, Husna Haze. In this captivating series, we will unravel the intricate tapestries of your favorite movies, TV shows, games, books, and beyond. Prepare to embark on a journey of analysis and exploration as we uncover the hidden gems and profound themes within these beloved narratives. Remember to show your support by hitting the like button and subscribing. For a regular dose of insightful content, let's delve into the realms of storytelling together. Back to the deconstructed universe. That's right, we're back with episode 5 of Dune Prophecy, and it is titled, In Blood, Truth. And I feel like this season has really been strong. I mean, I think I only gave one episode a C rating, and the rest have been like solid Bs. Now, I have to say the cinematography and the costume design in this series is phenomenal. HBO always knows how to basically, use their budget appropriately when it comes to, their set designs and the, cinematography and their costume design. I mean, it's phenomenal. It really builds and adds to the world building. Now, this episode has garnered attention for its dynamic storytelling and significant plot developments, and I have to agree because the plot developments have moved forward. I feel like we only had one slow episode, and I have to say that was like the one that I rated C, but I have to say like this episode was phenomenal, and it's really great to see the story picking up and these characters really moving and driving the plot forward in an integral way. Now, I have to say, like, the pace and the excitement, has been, bit up and down, but it's always been solid storytelling, which is why I have loved so much to return to this, series and to these film analyses that we do. Now, some of the highlights in this were basically visual and action-packed. So we pick up where we left off, where, we see Desmond Hart has taken charge of the military, and, the Emperor is basically smug. He has won. He has shown himself to be powerful. He has shown himself to triumph over his enemies, and he's like, I'm gonna give a good speech. They're gonna remember me in history. That's the energy he's giving. Meanwhile, Desmond Hart and, Queen Natalia are basically just looking at him like, ugh, like, look at this guy. Like, this is a hard-won victory that we delivered him, that he didn't even want. He's so reliant on the Bene Gesserit. Like, seriously? I have to say, like, this episode had me looking at the Emperor sideways, just because, like, I don't know. He's so weak and like a pushover, but at the same time, like, he is a good man who just has a lot of power, and he has the makings of a good king. He has the makings of a good emperor, a good ruler. But the thing is, he's weak. He's given low-key Viserys. I'm sorry. Like, I know I'm making this comparison, but seriously, like, he's given weak. He's giving, like, I would hate to have him as a husband and as a ruler. And I'm just saying, like, I feel like that's a character flaw of his that humanizes him a lot more. But we'll get into that a lot more later on. So when the episode kicks off, he has this whole speech, with the military and the nobles are all there. We see that, the crown princess is all like upset about how everything went. She came, she, stood by her family, she showed her face, and then she walked off. So we see that the Emperor is, the Imperial family is kind of broken up. We've seen it at the beginning of like episode 1 that they were always like broken up in a sense, like they were not fusing together. But at the end of the day, like we can start seeing the cracks in the royal family. Like it's real. So right there in the opening scene, we see that Valia has been plotting and planning because she hits up Sister Francesca, who is Prince Constantine Carino's mother, to come. So basically Valia made it like Constantine sent a message to his mother to come. And she shows up, and we obviously right off the bat we see the tension. We see that the Emperor is preening, like he is just peacocking. His mistress is here. He is happy. We see his wife is just not amused, not very happy. Javico is just, she's looking at Javico, she's looking at Sister Francesca, and she's just over it. Now, I know last episode I had a question regarding Constantine's, basically his status within the family, because I thought he was illegitimate, and it was established pretty early on that he's illegitimate, but later on, Princess Inez calls him Prince Constantine. So it's been established that basically, Sister Francesca, I guess, is Javico's official mistress. She's a concubine. So whatever children she has are basically legitimate under the Imperium and the royal family. So that's the way it goes. I know that originally Frank Herbert took a lot of inspiration from, Arab cultures, the Muslim religion, Islam, and he also took a lot of inspiration from like the Turkish culture. So, the Ottomans and everything like that, they all used to have like a harem full of concubines, and it didn't matter if you're the first wife, you're the second wife, if you weren't the official wife, if you were just like concubine number 306. If you had a child, it was legitimate and in line for the throne. So that cleared up my confusion that I had over Constantine. So we see that, obviously tension right off the bat with the royal family, the Carino. Really enjoy seeing the culture at court, and obviously this just feeds into the set designs and, the cinematography, and the wardrobe is phenomenal. I love this cinematography. I mean, HBO really knows how to do it. So we cut to, Chula and back at Sisterhood, and we see how everybody's kind of reeling from the nightmare that they had. So we see that there's a lot of friction with the sisters and the acolytes. A lot of them are leaving. A lot of them are unsure of what's going on. They feel like, the older sisters and the Reverend Mothers are not being very transparent with the situation at hand. Everybody suffered from this crazy, dream thing that was really scary. Some sleepwalked, some almost, off themselves. And it was like a fear-driven thing with Shai Hulud at the center of everything. So we see that there is one sister that basically, voices her concerns publicly to the older Reverend Mothers and Sisters. And, basically Tula puts her foot down and she's like, if you don't like it, you can leave or you can stay. Those are your choices. We're not keeping you here. You don't have to stay here. The door is open. You can go whenever you want to go. We're not holding you here. You are here if you want to be here. And I feel like that really works in favor of the sisterhood and the amount of loyalty they have from these women, especially since that, like, you can come there if you want, you can go whenever you want. If you don't agree with it, you can, you can kick rocks and go. It's it's a place where you want to be there. You don't have to be there, you know. You only are there if you believe in it, and they don't really limit the sisters in the sense that they can have children and, you know, they can get married and they can like politic. I feel like it really helps drive them onto that one narrative that they're on, which is, you know, give it up to the Sisterhood. I really want to back the Sisterhood. I really admire the construction and the organization, but at the same time, they're like horrible. They're horrible. At the same time, I'm trying to root for Natalia, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, without all of this, there'd be no Paul Atreides. So, but then again, Paul Atreides wasn't actually a hero, guys. I will do a deep dive on Paul Atreides whenever that comes about. But bottom line is, anyway, Chula basically gets this acolyte and is like, listen, are you still not having the dreams? And she's like, no, I'm not having the dreams. I'm sorry, I don't know the acolyte's name at this moment. I will try and pick it up as the season continues. So yeah, she takes her to Lila, who, you know, went through that whole ordeal. We see that she is now, you know, possessed with Raquella. Now, I really love that we get to see a lot more of Raquella, and I feel like the actress has really done a great job of playing both Leela and Raquella. We didn't see a lot of Raquella. Raquella throughout this whole series has kind of been like a strong, mysterious, powerful figure who launched all of this and, you know, basically wanted and believed in her vision so much that she was willing to sacrifice everything, and that she brought this whole sisterhood together, this whole organization, and passed it on to the people that she thought would best carry on her vision. Now, Chloe Leah really does a really phenomenal job of playing Leela, who is very much docile, insecure, kind, unsure, innocent, you know, but really strong. She does a really great job of showing that character and then showing and playing Raquella, who is basically strong, motivated, has a point, and, you know, no nonsense. I really saw the difference, so hats off to that. First, so yeah, we see that, you know, Tula is working with Raquella in figuring out where Desmond Hart comes from, and what exactly is going on with this whole dream and what they're expecting from it. Then we cut back at court. So back at court, we see that Tula is still plotting. She called in Constantine's mother without Constantine knowing. And then she also sent off her nephew to Desmond Hart and basically, you know, told her nephew to go and bargain with Desmond Hart. So we see that Tula is plotting and planning to get rid of Desmond Hart with the Bene Gesserit implanted in the rebellion. So we see that Desmond Hart is very much interested. He wants proof on what exactly Tula is doing, what she's up to. He doesn't want word of mouth. He wants proof. And obviously we see that Tula gave her nephew some important information. He passed it on to Desmond Hart and was like, listen, this is where the spice passes through. These are the smugglers. I'm sure if you go asking questions over there, you will find your answers. And we see that Desmond Hart gives him something. So there's a lot of Easter eggs being laid and planted. Now, moving forward, this episode, I felt like I really resonated a lot and felt a lot for Princess Natalia, and I felt a lot for Prince Constantine, just because I feel like they're in a messed up situation, and at the same time, I kind of see why they're moving the way that they're moving, and I just kind of hope that, you know, they kind of win. I'm kind of rooting for them in a way. So we see that basically Desmond Hart is on the hunt. He is on the hunt because he is looking for insurgents, and we see that he has this little confrontation between him and Kieran Atreides, and he's like, do you want to come and find these insurgents? Kieran is like, listen, Kieran doesn't even say he's busy. Kieran is just kind of like afraid because he feels like the walls around him are closing in, and obviously we see that he's caught feelings for Princess Inez, and there's things that he believes in that are basically clashing with his heart and his mind. And we see that coming to a culmination within the episode. At the end of the day, like, he doesn't even say that he's busy. He doesn't say anything to, like, get out of it. Desmond Hart just is like, oh, I didn't know you were busy. You had a lesson planned, because Constantine shows up. Now, Kieran takes out all his anxieties and fears on poor Constantine and says, listen, you're late. And anytime you're late, like, I can't teach somebody who doesn't even want to be taught and doesn't even put in effort. That's your first lesson. And I felt like Constantine is lost. He feels like he doesn't really have a path. He feels like his father doesn't respect him. He feels like the throne, he's not really grasping for the throne. He just feels like he's useless. Do you know what I mean? He feels like he's just kind of there, and he doesn't even know why he's there. And that comes to a really great conversation he had with his mother, Sister Francesca. And, you know, I just feel like that was just, like, crazy. But we'll get back to that later on. So we see, like, Desmond Hart is on the hunt. We see that Tula sends off her nephew to go bury their uncle, and then Tula basically finishes up finalizing the plot against Desmond Hart and his essential, you know, attempted assassination. So, you know, we're gonna cut to the good parts now. So basically, Desmond Hart's assassination comes at the end of the episode, towards the end of the episode. We see that basically the sister that Tula has embedded in the rebellion basically plots with Kieran Atreides, and that plot kind of works, as in it takes out a lot of the Emperor's men, except it doesn't take out Desmond Hart. And then we see that basically Kieran has a conversation with, you know, the sister embedded in the rebellion, and he's like, you know what, like, you need to go, I'm gonna stay because I believe in this. But all together, when he goes back to the palace, he doesn't know that Constantine had a conversation with his mother, and his mother was basically like, listen, your purpose was to protect your sister Princess Inez. That is your purpose, even from people that love her. So he goes on snooping for Kieran and finds the plans and palace schematics where he was plotting and planning with the, you know, with the resistance to off the royal family. So basically, Kieran is found out, and Constantine gets his moment in the spotlight where he feels like, you know, he's fulfilling his duty, his responsibility to his sister. And we see that at the end of the episode that we get, you know, Desmond and, you know, the Empress having a discussion about the Bene Gesserit, where she's like, listen, the Bene Gesserit took my husband, they wormed their way into my relationship with my husband, into my relationship with the state, into my relationship with my daughter. Like, we need to stop them, and I know you can stop them. There we go. It's personal for both Desmond and the Empress, because Desmond Hart has a mother. I'm pretty sure that it might be Tula that is Desmond Hart's mother, but she looks a bit, I don't know. We don't know, but we shall see. I'm banking that it might be Tula. So I give this episode a solid B. A great episode. Can't wait for the next one. What was your standout moment and your standout character? And I'll see you in the next one. Welcome to the end of the video, and thank you very much for making it to the end. Make sure you check out Vertigo Honor Bound by Blood, the first installment in the Vertigo book series. It is set in 2095 at the heart of the Imperial Champion regime, where Emperor Gregory Champion rules over Earth and the colonies stretching out across the solar system, where there is a virus called the Omega virus that has mutated and changed the political landscape of Earth. This is a story about factions, about coming of age, about the importance of being firm in what you believe in a world where bloodlines matter. What faction are you?